What's up, Crossbones Nation? It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another podcast. This episode of the podcast is always brought to you by CrossBones MMA.com. We are affiliated with several different companies, so let me give you a quick rundown. On It is a company that will provide you with everything you need to become a better person and a better human being. They will give you supplements. They will give you healthy foods to eat. They will give you exercise tips and exercise equipment to go with those tips. And some of it is for free, so just go to the site. Go to onit.com or go to crossbonesmma.com and click right on the link on the banner, and it'll bring you right to the site. NatureBox is a subscription food company that will send you snacks and little bags of healthy things that you can eat. That way your snacking habits throughout the day don't have to go to crap just because you're not at home. You can bring these things with you. They have all types of different things, over 100 different options that you can choose from, and you can customize it so every week you get something different. Just go to crossbonesmma.com, click on the NatureBox link, and it'll bring you right to the site. You can get a free trial, just check out some of the stuff that they have there, but then you can sign up right through the site, and you make sure that you get these things sent to you every week. F3 Foods is a similar company. It's a subscription-based meal plan where they will send you food every single week for all your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Already set, prepackaged, ready to go. Throw them in the oven, throw them in the microwave, or just open them up and eat them right out of the box, depending on what the meal is. All good food, all good for you, made from the healthiest stuff on earth. This is the stuff that's going to help you get into better shape, get into awesome body, drop your body fat, get into better shape. So that way, when the summer comes, which is creeping up on us here, you'll be in good shape for that bathing suit and that bikini. We are also part of DraftKings. DraftKings is not only an affiliate with ours, but they have become the principal MMA fantasy program with the UFC. They are the official ones. They are DraftKings.com, and what you basically do is you get a salary cap. You get to pick 5 fighters. Those 5 fighters are going to get you points based on effective striking, number of strikes, ring effectiveness, basically the same rules that govern them inside the octagon. They're going to get you points in your game, and who knows, you could win money. These guys gave out over $300 million last year, and this year they're expecting to give out over $1 billion. So make sure you get your piece of that by going to DraftKings.com, and you can do that right through CrossBonesMMA.com. On CrossBonesMMA.com, we also have an Amazon portal. If you click on the Amazon portal and you do any type of shopping online, it's not going to cost you anything else. If it cost you $3 yesterday, it's going to cost you $3 tomorrow. But what will happen is when you make your purchase, Amazon will actually kick back a little bit to the website and to the podcast. The store and deal with it, but this is all stuff that you can purchase right online. Like I said, nothing off the top from you. It comes in from there on, so it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out. So please go to the Amazon.com portal on CrossBonesMMA.com to do that. And last but not least, we work with Troxafen. Troxafen is a free testosterone booster. Basically, it's pills that you can take. They help boost your free testosterone in your system, which will help you build lean muscle, drop excess body fat. We're talking improvements of over 93% in 8 weeks. So this is stuff that definitely works, and they'll send you test strips that you can check it out, make sure it's working for you. Used to be just for girls, but now there's stuff for just for guys, but now there's stuff for girls there as well. So make sure you guys check that out also. So those are the affiliates that we work with. Check them out, crossbonesmma.com. There's banners on the website where you can go right to the store and affiliates page. But without any further delay, let's get right into the show. We got Nick and we got Eddie with us today, so let's get started. All right, so Eddie, what's going on out there, man?
Same. I hate to say it. You know what this has become my most hated phrase: the same shit, different day. But god damn it, same shit, different day, dude. I hate fucking saying it. But you know what? That is just a clear indication there's a fucking problem going on, right? If you got the same shit going on every single day, go outside, motherfucker, and look up at nighttime. All right. If you gotta go and take a hit or something of funny cigs or whatever they want to call them, do that. Look up at nighttime. Hopefully you're somewhere. I know John's in a place where you can see every star possible.
Oh,
I'm not. I got to go up to like Flagstaff, so it's like a 2-hour drive to see something in the sky. But regardless, go do that shit, and then yeah, you won't be able to say same shit different day. But for now, Same shit, different day.
Yeah, same for me, man. Just enjoying my day off, just getting over a cold. So if my voice sounds different, I just got my voice back, which is good. Have a runny nose, but other than that, living life, having fun, and just like always enjoying my Wednesday off doing the show.
Yeah, man, don't snot on your microphone there. That could get messy. But it's actually, believe it or not, is above freezing here in Pennsylvania. We broke the 32-degree mark. We got a little melting going on, which is just going to make it treacherous later on when it drops down again and everything turns to ice. Yesterday in my wife's car, it said -17 on her dashboard. So, you know, it's ridiculous. And I walked out of the house this morning to start the cars, and I looked at the thermometer that we have outside, and it was 14 degrees. And I turned around there and I go, you know what? It's not that bad out here today. And when you say it's not that bad and it's 14 degrees, something's fucked up, no doubt about that. But we got a lot to talk about today. We got a recap of the fight night in Porto Alegre. Between Mir and all the fights with Mir and Bigfoot. We have Josh Neer released a video on YouTube, which is looks like it might get him in some deep shit. Christine Cyborg passed her drug test, 2 of them. So that fight is on. She is set to headline the event Friday night. We will touch on the Invicta fight, Invicta Fight Night, as well as UFC 184. So let's get right into it. Eddie, let's recap Fight Night, Mir and Bigfoot.
All right, so down in Brazil, of course, whenever you go to Brazil, the one thing you don't want to do as a non-Brazilian is let the fight go to the judges. And damn it, if not, some of these guys actually went through with it and finished their fights. A couple didn't, whatever. But starting off in the night with the UFC Fight Pass prelims, the only one of the night on the Fight Pass, Josh Shockley goes in there looking like a goddamn hippie against Ivan George or Jorge, whatever you want to say. He loses via decision. Not the most exciting fight, to be honest with you. A lot of people on Twitter kept saying, like, you know what, cut both of these guys. Don't even matter who wins. I don't know. I think you need to give Jorge somebody that's gonna actually, push him to fight. I'm not a big Shockley fan, but I think maybe if you cut his hair, people take him a little more serious. But that's just my opinion. Then in the Fox Sports 1 prelims, Douglas Silva de Andrade defeats Cody Gibson via decision. This was an okay fight. Again, here's how I see it, and I'm a big fight fan, and I consider myself a hardcore fan, right? But if a fight doesn't make me sit there and stare at it and watch it, if there's nothing that interesting going on or that great going on, I'm not. It just doesn't interest me that much. But Cody Gibson's a tough guy, and I fully expect him to come back and get a win. Then Mike De La Torre, which his nickname is El Cucuy, which is basically the boogeyman in Spanish, defeats Thiago Trator via knockout. That was a fun fight for sure, and it ended pretty damn quickly. After that, Matt Dwyer put William Macario to sleep with a nasty knockout, where it was I think the punch hit him right behind the ear, right on the ear. I'm not 100% sure I remember correctly or completely, but big fucking win. I mean, big win for Matt Dwyer. Sorry. And then in the headliner for the Fox Sports 1 prelim, Jessica Andrade loses against Mary now, who defeats her with a really nice, I believe it was an arm triangle, right? Am I right on that?
She got her in a triangle choke, not an arm triangle.
Okay, triangle choke, right, triangle choke. But she got it twice. The first time she lost it, and then she got it a second time. The second time even tighter than the first. This coming after Andrade kept talking crap on Marion's jiu-jitsu. So look, man, sometimes you just gotta shut up. You shouldn't be saying stuff. Don't be talking about someone else's, jiu-jitsu and then get choked out saying yours is better beforehand, Then in the main card, started off with Santiago Ponzinibbio winning, in my opinion, a controversial decision over Sean Strickland. This is the first fight of the night where I was like, don't leave it to the judges or you're going to lose against a Brazilian or a guy that trains and grew up in Brazil for the most part, because he's originally from Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. After that, Frank Castellans defeats Yuri Alcantara. Yuri once again, kind of falling short against guys that he should have defeated pretty handedly. People were expecting a finish from Alcantara, and he just couldn't pull through. Huge win for Frankie, by the way. So we'll see who they put him up against. Then and I'm not gonna BS on it. Kind of a boring fight. Rustam Khabilov really disappointed me, losing against Adriano Martins. Khabilov is the guy that we've seen suplex dudes over and over and over again. He didn't bring any of that intensity to this fight. Maybe he showed up and just didn't have it. Maybe he was injured. Maybe something else was going on. But he just did not bring it in that fight. I fully expected him to finish it. Instead, Martinez gets a decision over Khabilov. Then, and in the second most holy shit moment of the night, Cesar Ferreira gets knocked the hell out by Sam Alvey with a nice place, just a perfectly placed punch. Ferreira, for people that know, is Vitor's protege. His nickname is Mutante, which is basically mutant. And he is a beast of a fighter. Sam Alvey, smiling Sam Alvey comes in there. Everyone expects Alvey to get the shit kicked out of him. Didn't happen. Alvey knocks him out, puts Cesar to sleep, comes right to the camera with a big old smile, gets a supermodel wife or girlfriend, whoever she is, in the cage, and then I believe he took home a bonus. Right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, he took home a $50,000 performance of the night bonus. There
you go. Take your top model wife out for dinner that night for sure. Then Michael Johnson gets the decision win over Edson Barbosa. Good fight, really good fight in my opinion. You know what? Michael Johnson coming up a long layoff, injuries and whatnot. He came in and people were already questioning whether he could last 3 rounds, whether he had the cardio to stay with Edson Barbosa. Barbosa's a guy that trains with Frankie Edgar. He's got the cardio. Michael Johnson put on the pressure, man. And Michael Johnson got cut up a bit, I believe. He got a couple cuts on him. Still stuck with it. Gets a decision win in Brazil. And the respect of a lot of Brazilian fans and a lot of fans in general. And I believe he put himself in the rankings with that win. So that takes us up to the main event. Antonio Bigfoot Silva against Frank Mir. The return of Mir via knockout. I said he was going to win via submission. I thought for sure this fight was going to go to the ground. And the reason I said that is because at the weigh-ins, Antonio Bigfoot Silva looked like a quarter of what he used to look like. If you look up a picture of him, of Bigfoot during TRT when he was, when it was still allowed, huge, filled out. Even though he's just a fat dude, he's still filled out as hell. Now he looked like, man, he looked like he had cancer. He looked really, really bad. And when he was on the scale, meanwhile Frank Mir comes in just looking like Frank Mir, except a little bigger. In fact, about 15 pounds heavier than normal. I believe he weighed in at 261. So he's big guy. And so that's why I thought, okay, he's gonna try to take Bigfoot down, lay on top of him, and then get a sub, maybe a Kimura or something on him. No, knocks him out. And so that that brings a lot of things into question, whether Antonio Silva can survive without TRT in the cage. And a lot of hype on Frank Mir now. The last couple of days I've been talking about Frank Mir, like, holy crap, he's back, it's gonna be great. And then I thought about it. I said, well, he beat a post TRT Bigfoot. He knocked him out after Bigfoot's already been knocked out a couple times, and especially after that war with Mark Hunt, where it looked like Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt hit him in the face a million times, and then Bigfoot's head is just freaking giant, so it's a huge target. So I'm not very, very, very impressed with the win by Frank Mir overall. But it came at the right time. Now the question becomes whether Frank Mir is going to walk away with a win. Maybe think about it like, hey, let's just walk away with a win now. Or what I think is going to actually happen, he's going to try and get a couple more big money fights, stack up cash in the bank, and right off in the sunset, hopefully with a win.
Yeah, and I gotta agree. This card, to start off with the card was awesome. I really like this Fox Sports 1 card. It felt like a pay-per-view card to me with all the finishes and the great fights. I want to start off with Matt Dwyer doing the Superman punch. That was ridiculous. I didn't even see that coming. And what I liked about Matt Dwyer is he's long and lanky. And when I trained kickboxing, my buddy, he had the same build as Matt Dwyer, just tall, lanky, and used the Superman punch against me all the time because I'm a lot shorter than him, and he would just use it and land it every time. And Matt Dwyer ended up doing that and getting that nice knockout on him. And then going up to the main card, the Strickland fight, I liked it. It was a really good fight. I do think Strickland did pull out the decision win, but unfortunately he didn't. We are in Brazil. We know how that sometimes happens. But it was a good fight overall. I really respect both fighters in such a war of a fight. And then, like Eddie said, Sam Alvey coming out with the amazing comeback knockout. I expected Sam Alvey to get demolished in this whole fight. I picked him out of my picks because I like him. I like his style of fights. He won all his fights by TKO or KO. And I do like him as a fighter. And him landing that knockout even proved more for me that he's a good fighter, not a great fighter, but I want to see him get up there, man. He looks like a humble and acts like a humble dude, and I kind of want to see him get up there. And he's a quirky guy. He's just really weird, but I like it. He had a smiley face, I believe, carved into his hair.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
he
think,
did.
which was even better. So I like Sam Alvey as a fighter. I hope he can come up and do big things. Very disappointed in Edson Barbosa's performance. Michael Johnson did exactly what he had to do. He had to rush Edson Barbosa, not let him get any range whatsoever. He did not let Edson even get. He got a little bit of range, started throwing some kicks, started throwing some body kicks. But I think what Edson needed to do was start throwing some leg kicks to stop Michael Johnson from attacking and rushing him in so much. But good job, Michael Johnson, getting a great win. It was a great fight overall. I really respect both fighters in that. What's next for Barbosa? We'll have to see. But Michael Johnson had to make a name for himself coming back, and he did, beating a top contender as Edson Barbosa is. And then the shocker of the night, which I had Frank Mir winning because I like Frank Mir. I kind of want to see him go off with a win, and he did get a win. It was weird because I believe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, he's a southpaw, right?
He is, but he's got a new boxing coach, and one of the things that they said was when he shoots for wrestling, when he goes for takedowns or clinches, he always goes into an orthodox stance first. So one of the things that they worked on with him was having him box out of that orthodox stance, and a lot of people are speculating that that was a big factor in that fight, that Bigfoot Silva was not expecting that, and it threw him off his game right away. But he is southpaw. You are correct about that. But he was fighting out of orthodox position.
Yeah, so he was leading with his left hand, his power hand, and hitting Silva with some nice jabs to start off with. Hit him with a jab, and then hit him with a left hook, and dropped him hard. Good job, Frank Mir. What's next for you? Like Eddie said, some big money fights. That's all I see, unless he retires. I would like to see him retire on his on top right now, but I think he moved up from number 13, I believe, up to number 11. So I'd like to see him fight maybe a Ben Rothwell for just a good fight, maybe lose, maybe win, retire off that fight, or I don't know. I want to kind of see him fight. What's his name? Why can't I think of his name right now? Andrei Arlovsky. Have two old dogs fight and just have a good fight. I think that would be a really good fight. Maybe if Brock Lesnar comes back, have him fight Brock Lesnar, have him get his redemption back, which would be a good rubber match in my opinion. Mir had one, Brock Lesnar had one. Maybe introduce Brock Lesnar back into the UFC and have that good of a fight. But it was a good card overall. The Andrade fight, I kind of wanted Andrade to win, but Renau is a beast. And hopefully one day soon she'll be a contender in the women's division as well.
Well, I don't think that one day soon is too far off. She catapulted into the top 10. She's now ranked number 10 in the division from an unranked position, which moved everybody back. But it's funny because one of the co-main event this weekend is actually Raquel Pennington and Holly Holm. Holly Holm stayed in her number 13 spot. Raquel Pennington jumped from 12 to 14. So it still confuses me how somebody who is yet to have a fight in the UFC is ranked in the UFC standings. I think it's ridiculous. But touching on the card real quick, a lot of the prelims, they are what they are. Not a lot of big names, but the fights went kind of what we were expecting, especially when it said, when we've said if you're not Brazilian, make sure you finish that fight or else you're going to lose it. But the prelim card shocked me at the top of the card with Renault just dismantling Andrade the way she did. I don't know if this girl is just catching everybody by surprise with how good she is, because she beat the crap out of Alexis Dufresne last time, and she basically did the same thing to Andrade this time. I don't know if they're not expecting her to be as explosive and as powerful, but she's putting everybody on notice because Andrade is a top-level competitor, and she made her look like she didn't belong in the octagon that night. Moving on to the main card, Alcantara really looked disappointing in that. Not explosive at all. Really, not what we expect from him, not what we see from him usually when he gets in the cage. Khabibulov was just a complete letdown. Really expected this guy to come in and go to town on Martins, right? It was an opportunity for him to really showcase his skills, and he didn't. He completely fell flat, and I think he damaged his standings, his reputation, because coming into a fight that he had no excuses, no layoff, no nothing like that. He came in with a full camp. This was just about as flat as you could be for the night. Sam Alvey, clearly, as you guys both stated, shocking knockout. Nobody saw that coming, I don't think. I don't even know if Sam Alvey saw that coming. So, but it was exciting, and it was good because he got the win, and you know what? He addressed the crowd, he talked to the crowd, and the crowd responded to him. And for as much as Brazil is so pro-Brazil, they are very much pro-fighter, and they were absolutely ready to cheer him on. They were excited to see an exciting fight, an exciting finish. They would have been out of their minds if it went the other way, but the fact that it was Sam Alvey was fine. They were respectful and willing to cheer for him as well. And then the two top, Johnson looked great, 11 months off, came back and took care of business. Barboza's a game opponent, so you know what? That just shows that Johnson is indeed fully back, fully ready to go, and very nicely into the standings. And then Mir's knockout of Silva. A lot of people are saying that Mir's back. I don't know if he's back as much as, Eddie, you and I both had this going second round submission. But at the same time, I'm not at all surprised this ended with a knockout. And, I don't think anybody's surprised that one of these two went down and went to sleep. So I don't know if I would say Mir's back. I'd like to see him. I think Nick had a couple nice ones there with Arlovsky or with Lesnar. But both of those guys are also, maybe more in Arlovsky's point, are already on their way out as well. They're in the same boat as him. I wouldn't mind seeing, I heard it thrown around there, him and Mitrione getting in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good fight to see, I think. And Mitrione is, if he's not on the rise, he's at least maintaining or plateauing at a high level right now. So I'd like to see Mir in there with somebody of that caliber before we start talking about Mir being back and the good times are ready to roll there for Frank Mir. But we watched all those fights on Saturday night, and then I believe it was yesterday we got to see another fight that happened in a less controlled environment, and that was in Josh Neer's gym, where, from what I can tell and from what I can understand, somebody, a heckler, an internet heckler, who has been talking shit to Neer back and forth, going back and forth. And you know what? Here's the thing. Before we even get into it, Neer responded, and that's just, idiotic of him in the first place. You're a professional athlete. You are going to get people that talk shit to you just because you're a professional athlete. You got to deal with it, and you got to know how to deal with it. But supposedly this guy was talking crap back and forth. Showed up at his gym, and they ended up fighting. And I saw a lot of people, and I'm in complete agreement with them. One or two things that should have happened in this fight. Number one, it never should have happened. They should have, called the police and just said, listen, you know what, there's a fan here that is out of control and, is acting dangerous towards other people. He needs to be removed, and remove him. You're the bigger man. You're a professional athlete. This is what you do for a living. Act that way. The other thing is submit him. Put him into a choke. Put him into a hold where he can't get out of, and just say, you're beat. Admit it. You're beat. But instead, he went the complete other way. He was dropping crazy elbows on him. And it got to the point that other people in his gym came over, grabbed him, and was pulling him away from him. And he got up and he soccer kicked the guy. This is ridiculous from all points of view. And now I believe the Iowa State Athletic Commission is actually investigating this event. I don't know what sanctions they can levy against Josh Neer if they revoke his license. I'm not really sure what power they have, but I think this is more of a police matter than an athletic commission matter. This should be looked into as an assault, as a professional fighter. A lot of people were saying the other thing. The guy who stepped in and knew what he was getting into was a willing participant. But I think as a professional, you got to err on the side of caution, and he definitely did not. Eddie, I know I talked a lot and brought up a lot of the news, but what do you got here?
All right, so the name of the guy is Patrick. I believe it's Patrick Martin, right? And he does talk a lot of shit. So basically, just like you said, what he did was he was talking a lot of crap to Josh Neer. Josh Neer invited him over to the gym so they could talk it out, I guess. And according to Neer, Martin showed up like 40 minutes into his workout, something like that. Then he offered him a bigger guy, right? One of Neer's teammates or something, and said, hey, fight him. He's bigger. Of course, he didn't do that. He picked Neer. So Martin claims that he was getting the best of Neer, and then he dropped his mouthpiece at the end of the round after the buzzer sound or the bell sound or whatever. And then that's when Neer jumped him, and that's where the 13-second video that we saw came about. Where Neer's on top of him, landing elbows, and the soccer kick kicking him in the face. That's a lot of talk. There's not. I don't know if there's any more video out there proving that Martin actually, put Neer into trouble. Look, man. When I first saw it, when everyone saw it, the first reaction everyone had was, "Oh, I can't believe he did that just to some guy," because everyone assumed that this was one of those, this was just some random guy, right? Possibly like a beginner in MMA, an amateur fighter. According to Patrick Martin, he's actually going to make his MMA debut in June. Let me see the name of the actual for MCC, whatever. I don't even know what that is as far as or the extent of the name, but it's for MCC against somebody named Terrence Risby. But anyway, so according to even Martin, he's not an inexperienced fighter. But my first reaction, and I still for the most part hold true to it with a couple exceptions or a couple differences, is that the gym shouldn't have allowed it. You know what I mean? If you're a responsible gym owner or gym operator or coach or whatever you want to call yourself, you don't let that happen, right? How many times are you going to let your guy spar and actually throw elbows? If you saw the video, he was on top of Martin. Neer was on top of Martin, dropping just massive elbows on the guy's face. And then just like you said, John, the two guys pulled Neer away, and he gets that last soccer kick right in the dude's face. It speaks so bad for the sport. It's gonna, because it got out there, man, immediately. SB Nation had it, MMA Fighting, everyone had it. It was all over the internet, and it's gonna get out to the masses when we're trying to get this damn sport legalized in New York. When we're trying to get people to accept this as a real sport and not just just people, still some people still calling it chicken fighting, but those are people we call really old, and it doesn't help. It really does not help. On the other hand, don't talk shit. Do not write checks your ass can't cash, okay? You can't go to a professional fighter, talk a bunch of crap, and then have the fighter invite you to his gym, and then when you actually showed up, he whoops your ass. You know what I mean? You can't. It's so. Look, man, I'm almost on both sides of it, but I'm more on the side of you can't allow that stuff to do that. If you're a professional fighter and you consider yourself a martial artist, you step away from something like that. And then of course, kind of on the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe they're just hyping up a thing. Like they're hyping up a thing between each other to maybe get a fight in a promotion somewhere, and make some money. You never know. Hype fighting or fight hyping, whatever you want to call it, and talking trash clearly makes money. So I don't want to get too crazy with the conspiracy theories. That's just one thing I was thinking about. Maybe it's a money making thing. But Nick, did you see the video and what'd you think of it?
I saw the video. I think the gym should be punished for it too. On top of Josh Neer, it's very unprofessional. You're 31 years old. You're an adult. If you get people harassing you online or sending you text messages, or I think it was messages on Facebook, you ignore them. You block them and you ignore them. You're a professional fighter. You don't let people like that get to you. You're gonna get it all the time. Now, I saw the video, and I think the video is completely disgusting. If the guy came into the gym, automatically call the cops or have the owner of the gym or whoever's in charge of the gym at the time kick that person out. You're not welcome in that gym. You're calling out one of our pro fighters. We don't want any controversy in this. But no, the 31-year-old's like, okay, fine, I'll fight him. And yeah, if the other guy was getting the hand or start beating him up, Josh Neer, and Josh Neer got mad at it, well, that's your own fault. You brought him into your gym. The video's disgusting. I really don't like that they let it go on as long as it did. When he was on the ground and Josh Neer started just completely ground and pounding him and throwing the elbows, it should have been stopped right there. But no, then they waited a little while, then they came in, then they pulled him away, and then Josh Neer soccer kicked him. That's ridiculous. His license should be taken away because, yes, it's out of competition, but that's disrespecting mixed martial arts in a whole. And you are a martial artist. You're supposed to be respectful towards this stuff. You're not a street fighter in this case. It's ridiculous. He should go in front of the athletic commission and either fight for his license or not even get a license from here on out. I think it's completely disrespectful to the sport and to himself as an adult and as a professional fighter.
Yeah, and I know, Eddie, you said that SB Nation and MMA Fighting ran with it, but wasn't it Neer that put it out on YouTube himself? Wasn't he the one who originally ran with the video?
He did. And that's one of those things where you were wondering how stupid Neer really was, because when I first saw the video, I thought, oh shit, that's assault, right? And of course, not Iowa. Iowa Athletic Commissions now they gotta investigate it, because if they didn't, they look really stupid. Meanwhile, the head coach, the name of the gym is called Round Kick. Pete Peterson's the head coach there and the owner, and he said it wasn't like a bully beatdown. He actually said that Martin had signed up for classes at Round Kick and that he was training for a fight in June, and then and that the problems only began after Martin started posting threats on Facebook towards Josh Neer. And it was just one of those things. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I've trained in gyms before, and the worst that ever got if someone was talking shit is if you put on headgear, you put on shin pads, and you spar without elbows or anything like that, or knees to the chest or anything. So doing this, it just looks ugly, man. And I always said it. Whenever I talk about issues like this, I rarely talk about it as how hardcore MMA fans or even practitioners or anyone that's ever trained in the gym. I never talk about it in that point of view. I talk about it in the overall sense, right? Like whenever I say history is going to remember so and so because of this, that means the mass opinion, because that's basically who's gonna make a judgment. So for the rest of everybody else, the casual fan, as we like to label them, they're not going to see, okay, the guy was talking shit during training and they went at it, because those casual fans have never been in a gym before. And first of all, UFC gym doesn't count, all right? I don't care if you go there, you sign up, you're going to learn martial arts. The best you'll do is get a cardio workout, all right? I've seen it. But for the masses, I guess, for the casual fan, it looks like a bully beatdown, and it's completely inappropriate. And look, I don't think Iowa's going to do much. Maybe suspend Neer for a little bit. Maybe take his license away, but he could reapply for anyway. Not that Neer's fighting for anybody. Maybe I don't know if he fought for Bellator. I'm not sure, but it's yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. It just looks bad. I mean, just the fact that it looks bad for MMA is enough to hurt the sport, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. And now my question is, where's the rest of the video? Because what do you think the odds are that somebody got the exact 13 seconds with the elbows and the kick and not anything else in that in that part? So is it edited? Is it I think that's one of the things that the commission is going to look into to see if there's an unedited version, see if there is a scene prior to it where it was sparring and then. As the one guy's claiming, he jumped him after the belt. I think more of it will come out. But I understand completely what you're saying when you're talking about how this will be viewed by the general public, because that's what really counts. That's what's really important. Hardcore fans, understand things a little bit more on the inside of the sport, but the general public will make rash decisions based on very little information, and anybody who is trying to make the sport look bad will use this as an absolute jump point to kickstart any argument they have about these guys being barbarians and not being able to function in normal society and all that type of crap. But we got Invicta coming up. We got actual professional fights coming up this weekend. And just so you guys know, the Invicta prelims are going to run free on UFC Fight Pass. The main card, you're still going to need to have the subscription, but they're going to open up the feed for the prelims. So go to UFC.tv, and you'll be able to watch the prelims live for Invicta free on Fight Pass. But let's talk about the Fight Pass card. What do you got here, Eddie?
All right. First, to add to the thing about the free prelims. You can also look if it's on UFC.tv, highly likely it's going to be on YouTube as well. So if the stream on UFC.tv is not working for you very well, go to I think InvictaFC.com will have the YouTube link up. And to be honest with you, the YouTube link almost always works better, and that's just my experience. But absolutely, Friday night we get Invicta FC 11 Cyborg versus Tweet. So let's kick off with the preliminary card. We got Ana Carolina Vidal against Aspen Ladd. They're making their professional debuts. They're both 0-0, so it's a pretty even fight there. Christine Stanley is taking on, and I can't remember her name because Rachel Cummins is no longer in the fight. I'm gonna have to get you that name in a little bit here. I lost it. I had it up a second ago, so I'll get you the name of the fighter Christine Stanley is gonna be fighting against. And then those two are flyweight fights. Then we get two strawweight fights in the prelims. Brianna Van Buren against Amy Montenegro, and then Jamie Moyle against an always game J.J. Aldrich. That should be a pretty good fight in the prelims. Then in the main card, Irene Aldana, straight from Mexico, taking on Colleen Schneider. Should be a good one. Then Deanna Bennett against Norma Rueda Center. And then my future wife, Alexa Grasso, is taking on Mizuki Inoue. That is actually going to be a really good fight. A lot of people not think it's going to be much of a fight. It's going to be a good fight because Mizuki is a beast. But my lady's even better, so it's all good. Then in the main event, the title fight, somebody we want to see for a long time. Now, this is not a 135 fight. I believe it's a 145. It's a featherweight. Cyborg taking on Christine, how do you say? Christine Cyborg Justino taking on, or Justino taking on Charmaine Tweet. Look, man, it's anytime Cyborg fights, it looks like a David versus Goliath kind of fight, right? When we saw Cyborg against Gina Carano, like everybody felt really, really, really bad for Carano before the fight even started. After the fight, people were like, "Stop it! Don't let her hit her anymore. She's too beautiful," But this is going to be a good fight. I believe this is going to be a competitive fight. Charmaine Tweet does not back down to anybody, and she's certainly not going to back down to Cyborg. Tweet was actually supposed to fight at Invicta FC 10, wasn't able to due to just, I guess, for lack of a better term, a big fuck up from the Texas Athletic Commission. But she's able to fight now, so she's taking on Cyborg, which is a huge step up in competition for her, in my opinion. But you got to put, Cyborg taking on somebody that's going to bring the fight to Cyborg, which I believe Charmaine Tweet. Oh, an exciting card. We're going to have a rep in the house for CrossBones MMA, and Jesse Rubalcaba is going to be in the house for us and to bring us coverage of the event. And very interesting that it's the night before UFC 184 where Ronda Rousey is the main event.
This card's actually really good. I'm actually excited for it. Some of the women fighters I don't know, which makes it even more exciting because I get to see some people that I actually don't know and see how good they are, except for Rachel Cummings that I've seen her fight in the past. She's actually really good. And then Alexa Grasso, like Eddie's self-proclaimed wife, when he saw her.
She will know one day. One day I will finally get to talk to her and profess my love. But until then, I'm kidding, dude. She's probably doing her own thing already. But still, you're right. That's my, what do they call them? My WCW, right? What do they call it?
Wednesday.
Okay, that's my. She is my everyday crush forever. That's just what it is.
No. Yeah, okay, so she's 6-0. I can't wait to see her fight. Her last fight was very, very impressive, so I can't wait to see her fight. And then we get to see Cyborg come back and fight Charmaine Tweet. And I like Charmaine Tweet. She's a very good fighter, a very humble fighter, but you have Cyborg, a beast of a fighter, coming after you. And she tests negative for her test, which is going to be awesome. So we'll have to see how she does against Cyborg. I like her nickname. It's Not So Sweet. That's what's awesome about her nickname. It's Not So Sweet. Let's see how she does against Cyborg, and then are they setting it up for her to fight Ronda Rousey. She's apparently, I just saw a video of her training in the UFC gym for the fight. So maybe they're hinting something, maybe they're not. We talked about it on the show before that I don't think they are hinting it. I think they're just trying to build up the Invicta card to help out their ratings, but you never know. We have Ronda Rousey fighting this weekend, so hopefully Christine Cyborg is going to be in attendance if she wins during the Ronda Rousey fight, and we'll hopefully see something crazy happen.
And the replacement for Rachel Cummins is Laura Salazar.
Oh, that's right.
And she is fine as hell. But wow. Okay, yeah. By the way, Rachel Cummins is a very, very, very good-looking girl too. But Laura Salazar is, I believe she's 3-0. She's 3-0. Yeah, she's 3-0 professional. All 3 bouts last year in March, September, and November. Looks like she's very likes the TKO people. So expect a very tough fight from Laura for sure.
Yeah, I totally forgot Rachel Cummings got pulled out. Damn. Now I'm upset.
Yeah, you'll live, dude. There's YouTube.
Yeah, I'll live. There's YouTube. So yeah, no, it's gonna be an awesome card.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a card. There's a lot of good fights on this. Deanna Bennett is definitely going to be a fun fight to watch. Alexa Grasso is going to be a very fun fight to watch, obviously. But in the main event, Cyborg is not the indestructible fighter that a lot of people used to think that she was. She had the kickboxing match, which she lost horribly. And Charmaine Tweet is a striker. So this could actually turn into a very interesting fight. I totally agree with you, Eddie. I think this is going to be very competitive. I think we could see, somebody take out Christine. Charmaine Tweet's record is 6-4, but the first fight she had, if I'm not mistaken, was against Ronda Rousey. She came into the sport at a time when there was very few competitors who weren't top-level competitors, so she got thrown into the wolves. Like I said, her first fight, Ronda Rousey. And granted, this is before Ronda is who she is now, but still, who she is now is still, part of who she was back then. But there's definitely a chance here that we could see an upset, so to speak. J.J. Aldrich is fighting Jamie Moyle. That's going to be exciting fight. Both of them are 1-0, but J.J. Aldrich's got a lot of skill and is a good fighter. But yeah, this card is gonna be an exciting one to watch. And I got to tell you, a lot of people frown upon and talk down to or about WMMA, but I got to tell you, man, I enjoy it a lot of times more than when the men's is fighting. And it's not a sexist thing, and it's not a female thing. They just bring it. They come and they fight. You very rarely see a boring fight out of them. And Invicta has really stacked their divisions and stacked their cards with exciting fighters. So this is going to be a good one, just like most of them have been. So I'll definitely be tuning in for this one on Friday night. But then Friday night is going to turn into Saturday, and Saturday we have UFC 184 from, is it Los Angeles, this one? This is live from LA, the Staples Center. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see them, pack the Staples Center. A lot of people are only familiar with that from who plays there? The Lakers that play there. So who else?
The Lakers and the better team in LA is the Clippers right now anyway, so it's
they
always
both
nice
play out of there?
They both play out of there, but it's always nice to see the Lakers lose repeatedly, and I enjoy it. I'm just saying.
So it'll be very interesting to see how they fill that arena, how many of these seats are blacked out. Obviously, the octagon does not take up as much room as the basketball court itself, so it'll be interesting, but it should be a fun crowd. It should be very exciting. Somebody was tweeting out earlier today that there was multiple LA radio stations, terrestrial radio stations, that were talking UFC today. So the hype is there. It's starting to build a little bit of buzz, which is a good sign. I know a lot of people are saying that this isn't a card worth buying. I disagree. I think a Ronda Rousey fight is worth the $60 to pay. I think she's exciting. I think you're seeing somebody that if you see any of the promos that have been coming out. Joe Rogan, is saying things like, she's not a once in a lifetime fighter. She's a once ever fighter. And this is totally true when he's referring to Ronda Rousey. This is a fighter who's in the prime of her career, the prime of her athletic fighting ability, and she brings it every single time. She's determined, she is focused, and just having her there is worth the fight for me. I'm also pumped up with the Rocky Pennington Holly Holm fight, and I know a lot of people are shitting on that fight, complaining that this fight's got no real co-main event. I say bullshit. I think that's going to be a fun fight. Rocky Pennington is coming off that crazy bulldog choke where she put the girl out, and Holly Holm's making her debut, but she's an extremely talented striker, extremely talented fighter. So I think we're going to see, a great fight card. Eddie, I'll turn it over to you. Do you have the fight card up to share with everybody here?
I do. I'm just working on putting on screen share, but I pretty much echoing what you were saying, man. Definitely a card worth spending the money on. As always, I recommend you go to a bar and spend that money, like the $5 or whatever it is to get into some bars, or get your friends. Everyone throw down $5. You probably have extra for beer. But regardless, it's a fun fight, or fun card. Starting off with the early Fight Pass prelims at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Straight out of Mexico, my brother Macio Fullen taking on the Colombian Alex Torres. Fullen was actually in that tough Mexico versus Latin America, whatever season with Cain Velasquez and Fabricio Verdum. He's a good fighter. I believe he got hurt. He wasn't able to fight in that Mexico card. Now he finally gets his chance in LA. There's going to be a lot of support for him, especially with the Latino with the Latino population in LA. Most of it being Mexican. A lot of Colombians in LA as well, so there's going to be a lot of cheers for this fight even early on. After that, James Krause taking on Valmir Lazaro. I always like watching James Krause. I don't know why, because he calls himself the James Krause. For some reason, the ego and the arrogance alone makes it like, okay, let's see if this guy can actually fight, which he usually can. Lazaro is not a punk, though. He's not a pushover. So I'm thinking these two early Fight Pass prelims are actually going to deliver. There we go. And then in the Fox 41 prelim, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Derek the Black Beast Lewis coming in taking on, I'm going to say Juan, but I think it's Ron Potts. Yeah, it's going to be Ron Potts. I'm not sure, because his nickname's Spangs, which is actually kind of funny. But
no,
Derek
it's Ruan.
Ruan?
Yeah, Ruan.
Ruan. Okay. Well, hey, fuck it. All right. Then Derek Lewis coming off a getting knocked out by Matt Mitrione at, I believe, Mousasi against Jacare 2, I think what the card was. But he's coming off a KO. He's going to be looking to get back in the win column. And then a fighter I'm very excited about, Diego Lima coming in taking on Tim Means. I'm kind of sick of Tim Means. I wouldn't mind if he got knocked out in this fight. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm a big fan of Douglas and Diego. So, in fact, whenever Douglas can make it over to the UFC, it's going to be a great, great time. After that, Roman Salazar El Gallito taking on Norifumi Yamamoto. Not going to lie to you, I know literally nothing about Yamamoto, but Salazar is a game fighter. Should be a good fight overall. And then a fight which I have to say I'm kind of confused by it. Mark Munoz is in the prelims taking on Ron Carnero. I don't know. It's to me it's kind of weird. I like Mark Munoz. A lot of people saying that he was told by his family or his doctors to quit fighting. He doesn't want to quit, obviously. But the past few performances by Munoz have left something to be desired, especially when against Machida. Mind you, that was a pretty short notice fight for both of them. Because taking on Machida last second, even if it's Machida coming in as a late replacement, it's still a really hard fight against Machida. And he ended up getting knocked out in a kind of a nasty way. So that's going to be your headliner for the Fox Sports 1 prelim. Then I headed over for pay-per-view. Again, the main card kicking off at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Tony Ferguson, the other Ed Kukui, for a nickname, is taking on Gleason Tebow in a fight that should be pretty damn good. Ferguson coming off a submission win, and someone help me out. Who'd he beat? Either of you guys remember?
Yeah,
I'm blanking like a mother.
Shit. I'll get it.
All right. Anyway, Tony Ferguson training out of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. He's got a nasty submission game. And then Gleason Tebow is one of those guys that cuts a ton of. It looks like he cuts a ton of weight because he comes in huge for a lightweight. So I don't think Tony Ferguson is going to want to stand with Gleason for too long. I think this fight's going to go to the ground, and it should be a good, grappling match in my opinion. But sometimes we're kind of wrong on those. Then Alan Jouban coming back after kind of a pretty crappy controversial decision loss, taking on Richard Walsh. Jouban, another 10th Planet guy, so possibly in for some more jiu-jitsu in that night. Then in a fight where it's kind of a loser goes home, it's Josh Koscheck taking on Jake Ellenberger. Koscheck coming off a very, very long break, and it wasn't really for injury or anything. He was giving himself a break, kind of like Frank Mir did. And Koscheck knows it might be his last chance to stay in the UFC, as does Ellenberger. He's had multiple losses. He just hasn't had a good showing in the cage, but he's still ranked number 11 in the welterweight division. So he needs, they both need to win to stay in the UFC. I think the loser leaves. If it's Koscheck, possibly loser retires, and it should. But regardless, both these guys have something to lose and everything to gain, so they might as well just put it all out there. Then in the prelim, in the freaking co-main, I'm all messed up right now. In the co-main, Holly Holm finally making a UFC debut against Raquel Pennington. Holm is undefeated at 7-0. Raquel Pennington is 5-5, but that's not like a bad 5-5. Is like the best way I can put it, especially coming off that bulldog choke that she had on Ashley Evans Smith. Look, a lot of people think Holly Holm's going to come in, knock Raquel Pennington out, and get a Rousey fight. I don't believe it's going to happen. I think Raquel's going to put her. I think Raquel's going to try and take her to the ground and test her ground game. I think Pennington has the full ability to do that, but she's going to have to get past Holly Holm's striking. And if you've seen any of the videos or any of Holm's past fights, those strikes are scary and they hurt like hell. And keep in mind, the reason that this is the co-main event is because the Vitor Belfort against Chris Weidman fight is off due to Weidman getting injured. And so our main event that was supposed to be a co-main is going to be Kat Zingano challenging Ronda Rousey for the title. Both ladies are undefeated. Kat Zingano, we've all heard the story, her knee blowout and then the unfortunate suicide of her husband. She's had to battle through so many things. I don't know anybody that deserves to win the title more right now than Kat Zingano. But unfortunately, in my opinion, it's not going to happen. Ronda Rousey, just like Joe Rogan said, just like John was saying a second ago, she's not one of those once in a lifetime. She's the only one ever type of athlete, and she trained. And that's the crazy thing about Ronda Rousey. She knows she's talented. She knows she's undefeated. She knows she's the best female fighter ever, but she trains like she's still trying to get into the UFC. It's kind of crazy how she does it, but it's what makes her so good. This is going to be a fun fight. It's going to be I think it's going to go to the third round latest. I don't know if Kat Zingano can beat her, but this is the reason why people are going to tune in, why they're going to buy the pay-per-view, why they're going to head to the bars and whatever to watch the fight, because you want to know, you want to see can Kat Zingano actually get over that hill with everything she's gone through, with all that she's had to fight through to get to this title fight finally, the one that she earned a while ago. Can she actually win the belt from the greatest female fighter ever? And we get to find out on Saturday. And I'm excited for it. And then on top of that, with Cyborg being the main event in Invicta and Ronda being the main event at UFC 184, will there be, just like a lot of people think, is there going to be some sort of announcement of Cyborg signing with the UFC and a possible matchup with Ronda Rousey? It's possible, but both ladies need to win first.
Yeah, I have to agree. I like the card. The cards, it's a lazy card, but actually, give me 1 second. My computer's bugging out. Give me 1 second.
So, I'll take it from here on that one. But the card is definitely going to be an exciting card. We got some good fights on there. Munoz is definitely going to be an interesting fight. Headline in the prelims here. He's got the possibility of coming out with the win and still not looking great. He's been very lackluster in his past couple fights, but hopefully, if there's truth in the fact that his doctor is recommending that he stop, hopefully this is a farewell fight, because I know doctors are always gonna side on caution, but if your doctors are saying it's time to step away, I think you got to take into account it's time to step away. As far as Ferguson, he choked out Abel Trujillo. That was his last fight. That was the one that you were missing on there. But Koscheck and Ellenberger. Koscheck has come out this week and said that he wants to fight out the remainder of his contract and then retire. I think he's got 2 more fights left on his contract, including this one. If that's what it is, then you know what? Good for him. Let him do it. He wants to retire inside the octagon. He's earned it. A member, was he season 1? He was, right, of The Ultimate Fighter?
Yep.
A member of season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. He's never been cut. He's never fought elsewhere. This has been his home his entire career, from The Ultimate Fighter on. So, you know what? Let the guy get his fight in. Let him finish out his contract and let him ride off into the sunset on his own terms. He's produced a lot of exciting fights. He's produced a lot of exciting wins. And, you know what? I think he deserves at least that. I'm not a huge Koscheck fan, but he's done enough to earn that right here inside the cage. Holm and Pennington. Holm is a formidable opponent, no doubt about that. There really isn't. But I think a lot of people are really buying into the hype of it and not giving Pennington any credit for what she can do inside the cage. And we'll get into the odds in a second here because I know we try to do that usually on the Wednesday before the fights, is just run down the quick odds. But the main fight to me is one that I'm so torn on. And I mentioned it to you guys the other day. You know, my brain is saying Rousey all day. My heart is saying Zingano all day. This is really going to come down to having to make a decision between the two. But Rousey's got the skills that, she's, as you were saying and as you were alluding to, she's world class in so many different areas, but she has the attitude that she's a beginner in everything. And you know what? That's a way that she's going to maintain that edge. That's the way she's going to continuously improve. She's not resting on her laurels. She's not sitting back and saying, you know what? Right now I'm the champ and everybody's got to come to me. She's going out there every time and saying, I've got to earn this belt again. And, for her, that's a fantastic attitude. And for us, that's fantastic because this is giving us, the exciting fights that we get out of her. Kat Zingano won the number 1 contendership prior to the Ultimate Fighter season, where Miesha Tate ended up coaching against Ronda because she beat Miesha for the number 1 contender. But then we had obviously the injury, and then, as you had mentioned, the family tragedy. But she is a dominant fighter. She is incredibly gifted in her own right. And she's we're talking 135 pounds, but she's a big 135 pound for a female. She's muscular. She knows how to use her body weight. She knows how to maneuver. She knows how to control the ring, the octagon. So this is definitely going to be an exciting fight to watch. I think she's going, and I know everyone says that every time Ronda gets in the ring, this is going to be her toughest fight to date. I think that's bullshit. I think a lot of her other fights were, it was the next person up. This, I believe, truly is going to be her toughest fight to date. I think if the Sarah McMahon fight wasn't ended as quickly as it was when Sarah went down with that knee, I think that could have been, a real true test for Ronda. But with that fight aside, I think that this fight here is going to be one that Ronda really has to push herself, really has to bring it, and can't be off even slightly. I think most days an 85% Ronda beats most women that she's facing. I think this day she's going to have to be 100% to come out with that belt around her waist for Kat. Nick, it looks like you're back, so I'll let you get your piece in here. It's all you.
Yeah, sorry about that. My computer froze and then just shut off. So, I'm just going to touch on the co-main and the main event. Raquel Pennington, I think she has a tough test against Holly Holm. It's Holly Holm's debut in the UFC, like we all said. But I think Rocky can pull it out. I don't like that Holly Holm is ranked above Rocky. Like you said, John, that she shouldn't even be ranked, having her first fight in the UFC being this weekend. Rocky has a good potential of winning. I'm going to actually go with Rocky on this one. But if Holly Holm wins, I didn't think about this. What if they signed Cyborg not to fight Rousey, but to fight Holly Holm for a title shot against Ronda Rousey? That would be something cool to see. I would actually like that more than her automatically fighting Ronda Rousey just to get her foot in the UFC and see what she has and if she passed all her tests and everything like that. And then touching on the main event, I love this fight. I've been waiting for this fight forever. I think Kat Zingano is the person to beat Ronda Rousey. She does have the tools to. She is undefeated as well. But we have Ronda Rousey. She is a beast. She wins by armbar every time except for her last 2 fights. I got to go with the champ, Ronda Rousey. She is a beast. But other than that, it's a good card. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, so like I alluded to, the Wednesday before the event, I give you guys the names of the fighters. You guys give me the who you're taking as the favorite, and then I tell you the odds makers' favorites. So let's start off here. We got hold on one second here. We got Fallen and Torres. Who are you guys going with the favor here?
I'm going with Torres.
No, hell no. I'm going with Fallen.
Fallen is the favorite, minus 155 to Torres plus 135. So
don't be dissing my brother, man. That's my Mexican brother. He's gonna win this fight, all right? The Colombian ain't got shit. I'm just saying.
All right, on the next fight, Kraus and Lazaro.
Kraus.
Yeah, I'm going Kraus.
Kraus is the favorite, minus 180. Lazaro's plus 155. The heavyweight bout, Lewis and Potts.
Got to go with the Black Beast from Houston, Derek Lewis.
You know what? I'm gonna take Lewis. Yeah.
Lewis is the favorite at minus 480, plus 380 for Potts. Then we step into Lima and Means, welterweight bout.
Lima.
I'm gonna go Lima. Yeah, Lima.
Actually, Means is the favorite here. It's minus 125 to a plus 105 for,
so it's close.
For Lima.
Okay.
It is close, yeah.
Okay.
Salazar and Yamamoto. Eddie?
Salazar.
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto is the favorite, minus 310. Salazar's a plus 260. For those
By
of
the
you
way,
who don't know what that means...
Real quick. Look, the dude's got massive amount of tattoos. If this is a tattoo contest, Yamamoto destroys everybody. Fucking Salazar's got one little fucking arm sleeve and a little bit on the left arm. This dude's covered. Yamamoto is just covered in tats.
He's a triad member, isn't he?
Is he really? Oh, shit. I was like, expect a bunch of weird mobster motherfuckers in Vegas or in LA this week.
Exactly. No, but for those of you that don't understand what the odds means is the favorite is, for instance, Yamamoto's a minus 310, which means you would have to put down $310 to win $100, and with Salazar being a plus 260. If you bet $100, you would win $260. So the minus is what you would have to put down to get 100. The plus is what you would win if you put down 100. The middleweight bout, Munoz and Carnero. What do we got here, guys?
I'm just because I don't know. I'm going heart not brain this time. I'm gonna say Munoz wins this.
Yeah,
favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz is the favorite. He's minus 305 to Carnero's 255. Ferguson and Tebow, lightweight bout.
Ferguson.
Ferguson is minus 205. Tebow is a plus 175.
Damn, that's close.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's still a 2-1, but it's not not that crazy. Joban and Walsh.
Joban.
Walsh is a plus 350, making Joban the favorite at a minus 450. You guys were right. So you were good on that one. Ellenberger and Koscheck.
Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say Ellenberger's the favorite.
I'm gonna go with Koscheck on this one.
Yeah, Koscheck is not the favorite on this one. Ellenberger is a minus 195. Koscheck is a plus 170. Pennington and Holm.
Oh, this is good. This one, first of all, this one has to be close. But I'm gonna assume they're saying Holm's gonna win this. I'm gonna say Holm's the favorite.
I'm saying Rocky.
This is the biggest favorite on the card. Holly Holm is a minus 800.
God
to
damn!
Raquel Pennington's plus 575.
Vegas, you disrespectful motherfuckers. All right, Holly Holm hasn't fought anyone UFC caliber. You're gonna make her a giant favorite. You know what's funny though? Vegas, for the most part, knows what they're talking about, so I can't kind of crap on them too much. But come on, I hope Rocky saw the odds and is pissed the hell off right now. And now I'm hoping she wins. Screw that.
I hope Rocky wins that, man. That's ridiculous. God.
And then finally, Rousey and Zingano to head that night.
Rousey by a mountain. Ugh.
Actually, it's less odds than. I'm assuming you're going Rousey there, Nick.
Yeah, no, I'm going Rousey.
All right. Rousey is the favorite at -765. Zingano's +565. So Pennington and Holm actually have the biggest split on the odds here. But just to touch on what you were saying about the Vegas odds makers knowing what the how this is going to go. Last weekend's card, 8 straight underdogs won. And somebody put up a number that if you put a $100 parlay on those 8, you would have walked away with $4.4 million at the end of the night. Now, granted, I think a parlay means every single fight has to hit like that, but somebody put an all underdog bet in there. You know they did. Just to mess around. And
I'm still thinking about doing that.
Cashing out. That's ridiculous. But that's a rundown of UFC 184, which takes place Saturday night with the Invicta FC on Friday night. Good fight, a good weekend of fights this weekend. But you guys got anything else before we wrap this?
I want to say this. Is there? I hate to do that. I'm looking it up right now as we speak, but I want to say Bellator has a card too. Am I right on that? The British is it British invasion this weekend?
The British invasion this weekend. Let's take a quick peek here.
February 27th. That's Friday.
That's Friday night. So they're going up against the Invicta card. So it looks like we're gonna have to DVR Bellator and touch on watch Invicta. But
not
on this card, I think it's not a bad card, and I think with the light heavyweight title here, I think McGeary's going to take that. I'll take him to win that fight and win the belt.
Yeah, I think Newton got lucky when he won the title. I'm just going to say that, but yeah, McGeary's a bad dude. But we also get the return of Paul Daly. You see Paul Daly on TV again. That's pretty cool against Andre Santos. Should be a pretty good fight. Paul Daly is what's his nickname? It's something to do with his hands. What was it?
Paul Daly?
Yeah, what's his nickname? Semtex? Is it Semtex?
Yeah, Semtex.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then of course this one's gonna be fun. King Mo against Czech Congo. King Mo
this is a heavyweight fight.
Yeah. This is stupid in my opinion. The Wall shouldn't be doing this, but it's gonna be fun to watch regardless. Czech Congo, as we saw, he's the kind of guy that knocks dudes out pretty handedly. And when he does knock dudes out, he knocks them out pretty devastating fashion. But King Mo, the wrestler and overall game fighter, should bring the fight pretty good. Brennan Ward against Curtis Millender. I don't know much about either one of these guys. And
Clinton Vassell should come out well in this fight here against Sokoju.
I believe so. Friggin' height and reach, massive advantages. So it should be a pretty good fight for Vassell. But as we know, we've seen plenty of upsets. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't even know how to say that guy's last name, but if he somehow pulls off a big upset.
Yeah, absolutely. Good catch on that one that we didn't touch on that today. It's a good thing remembering that. Anything else before we wrap this?
No, I'm good.
All right, Nick, Eddie, you good?
What did I thought I had something, but I guess I don't. Oh, I didn't do bad decisions on Monday. I'm gonna try and pull it off tomorrow. Life took over, it got kind of crazy. So, especially when that Sunday card, man, it feels like because I stayed up for that Sunday card, it feels like everything else got thrown off. Like Monday morning, woke up, it's like, oh shit, here we go. But I interviewed Florina Moeller. She's an amateur fighter, really cool chick, really good story. She has, she came from overseas, landed in Kansas City, Kansas. Out of every city in the freaking United States, it was Kansas City, Kansas, and making a nice life for herself. And she's a fighter that some people or some girls have actually withdrawn from the fights one last second, one a couple weeks before. You know, she's a bit of an intimidating force, and she just enjoys fighting. Not one of those people that's like, you know, it's like I want to be a champion, I want to fight so and so, and I want to fight so and so. She just wants to take it as far as she absolutely can, and that's something I think is refreshing from a fighter that came from another country and had to learn the culture and the language pretty quickly. So that's going to be coming out, I believe, on Friday. I was going to try and get it out yesterday, but like I said, everything I pushed back. So I believe on Friday I'll have that out on SoundCloud, as well as a written article on CrossBonesMMA.com. So keep an eye out for that, and make sure you look up Flory Cuddles Moeller on Facebook and give her page a like. Nothing cuddly about her fighting style, I'll tell you that. But really, really cool person, and she's really, really fun to talk to.
Yeah, and I'll have another episode of the interview show out. Maybe I'll try to get the audio from you, and we'll include it in the interview show for this week. But we'll have Dwayne Ludwig on there. We have Neil Magny on there. We have Eddie Gordon on there, and I believe possibly Ray Borg to wrap it up this week. So it should be a good interview show. But for right now, that's going to wrap the show for today's episode. This is episode 44, 5 Rounds with John and Eddie. You can follow me at MMA John G on Twitter. Eddie is at eLaw30X Micro, and of course the station is at CrossBones MMA. We have 2 writers that work with us at CBMMA_Don and at SPWAT1983. Check them out as well. You can now find Crossbones every day on iTunes.com/Crossbones MMA Radio, as well as Stitcher.com. And is it also Crossbones MMA Radio, Eddie?
Right, yeah, it is.
The new one? Okay, so check it out there. Stitcher.com as well, Crossbones MMA Radio. Remember to go to CrossBonesMMA.com at any point to get all the latest news and updates of all the things that are happening in the world of MMA. Check out the banners and the store and affiliate page for Onnit, NatureBox, F3 Foods, DraftKings, Amazon.com, and Troxbin.com. But I got nothing else going on here today, so let's finish this show. Until next time, we were going to keep our ears open and our eyes out, looking up for all the latest news and updates to talk to you guys about. And until this Saturday, when we're going to obviously be discussing the Friday night cards for both Bellator and Invicta, as well as other topics that I'm sure are going to come out between now and then. For Eddie, for Nick, this is John, and this has been Crossbones MMA Radio. Have a great day.